The match flared to life, and Mikey, the hammer Palermo's face, came out of the dark, cut in half by orange firelight. He cupped it against his cigar, drew slow, and let the smoke crawl up through the shadows like a spirit that didn't know it was dead. He sat alone in a Brooklyn alley, rain dripping off the fire escapes, his voice low enough to sound like a curse. Brooklyn don't forgive, Brooklyn don't forget. The match hissed out, and for a beat, the world went black again. Then came the sound of a gun chamber sliding into place. A lonely apartment lamp flicked on, catching Lopez in the glass of his bathroom mirror. His FBI badge lay tossed on the counter beside a half-empty bottle. His eyes were hollow, haunted by ghosts he couldn't bury. He said it like a confession. We bury the dead, but the secrets they keep digging back up. The rain hammered harder. Across the river in Philly, Anthony Sessa stepped out of a bar with 2 soldiers at his back, his coat collar up against the cold. He smirked under the streetlight, dragged one last pull off his cigarette, and flicked it into the gutter. The glow died before it hit the water. Far uptown, Admiral Impeach sat in a penthouse suite with his new partner, the one they called the Frog. Between them, a steel briefcase snapped open, and blueprints spilled across polished wood, weapons, clean lines of power and death. Impeach's voice was soft, but it cut. Power ain't something you hold, it's something you sell. Church bells tolled, slow motion, candlelight, black veils. Bambi Palermo walked down the aisle, her face lit by the flames. Her eyes were burning, her jaw locked tight. Beside her, Christian Zintilli leaned into the frame, silk suit gleaming, smile sharp enough to cut glass. His hand slid into hers, his shadow stretching long over the marble floor. Marriage, loyalty, betrayal. It's all the same game, Bella, he whispered, breath sweet and poisonous. She didn't answer, but in her sleeve a flash of steel caught the light. Elsewhere, Goku D'Angelo slammed his hand down on the table at La Tavola Nera, red wine leaping from shattered glasses. Nick Palermo stood at his back, fists tight, his face pale, eyes darting like a man boxed in with no way out. You betray me, Goku's voice thundered. You betray family. The world shattered in flashes after that. Supreme and Sydney moving weight through Kansas City, watchful eyes and tighter grips. Emily Winters staring down at her wedding ring in the mirror, torn in two by blood and vows. ADA Ian Wilson feeding paper after paper into a shredder, his office dark but for the sparks of destruction. Agent Caden Winters, pale and shaking, swallowing down pills in a bathroom stall, gripping the sink until his knuckles turned bone white. The bass of the city thumped like a heartbeat, low and dangerous. In a Brooklyn bar soaked with blood, Lopez dragged Mikey, the hammer, out by the collar, the fight still ringing in the broken glass behind them. Sessa leaned against a car, grinning as he wiped a revolver clean with his sleeve. Admiral Impeach snapped his briefcase shut. Zintilli's hand clamped over Bambi's face, tilting her eyes to his. His words dripped like honey, but his gaze was iron. In the end, he said, everyone belongs to somebody. Bambi's breath came sharp. Her hand tightened on the hidden blade. And then the screen went black, sound dropping out like a body hitting water. Silence hung, heavy enough to crush ribs. A single whisper cut through the dark. This ain't just blood. This is Brooklyn bloodlines. The words bled across the page in your head like red ink spilled on old paper, and you knew season 2 was already moving. Bambi's twisted tales, Pete's dragon, the beast in the pines, a debt paid in blood. You ever hear about Ash Hollow? Little Jersey mill town tucked between the pine barrens and nothing. Nothing but dirt roads, rotten shacks, and a lumber yard that's been sucking the life out of families since before Prohibition. Kid named Petey Malone lived there, 10 years old. Mama was a waitress, good woman. Daddy, piece of garbage, gambler, boozer, owed money all over Philly. One night, the debt collectors came. Mama screamed, Daddy begged, and Petey ran into the woods. Last time he saw either of them. When the smoke cleared, he was alone. That's when he met it. The beast. Petey's wandering, barefoot, cuts on his feet. Fog's hanging low like a blanket. He hears something moving, heavy, like steel drums dragging through dirt. Out of the trees it comes, a dragon. Yeah, I said dragon. Not no cartoon lizard, a freaking monster. Wings big enough to block out the moon, scales cracked and black like concrete after a fire, eyes glowing like two smoldering cigars in the dark. It leans down, breathing smoke over the kid. And in his head, he hears, "You're mine now." Ash Hollow, a rotten town. Ash Hollow ain't no fairy tale town. It's rotten to the core. Mayor Carver, belly out to here, selling off land, pocketing kickbacks. Louis Two-Tone Marino, an older priest, arrives with a group of mobsters, looking determined and holding a cross. Sheriff Greer, dirty as a grease trap, turning tricks for whoever's got the cash. They bleed the town dry. Petey? Just another stray kid nobody'll care about. But once the dragon shows up, all hell breaks loose. The first fire. One night, some older boys corner Petey near the train tracks. "Where's your mama now, freak?" They laugh. They push him, spit on him. That's when the air changes. Smoke drifts in, heavy, like steel drums dragging through dirt. One exhales. Jesus Christ. Before he can finish, fire floods the tracks. The boys scatter, screaming, clothes melting. One don't make it. The rest, they swear they saw the devil. From that night on, folks whisper about the beast in the pines. The mob gets involved. Two-Tone sets up the showdown at the sawmill. Storms raging, rain pounding the roof. Petey's tied to a chair as the mob surrounds him. "Find the kid," he tells his crew. "If he's baiting this thing, I want him in a bag." Meanwhile, Petey's wandering, barefoot, cuts on his feet. Fog's hanging low like a blanket. He hears something moving, heavy, like steel drums dragging through dirt. Petey, "No, you'll sell me, just like the rest." The church walls shudder. Glass explodes inward. And boom, dragon's there. Sheriff Greer don't even get to scream before he's roasted alive. The bargain days turn into weeks. Every time Petey's threatened, the dragon comes. And every time it comes, somebody dies. Petey don't talk much, but one night, sitting by the fire, he whispers, "Petey, why me? Why'd you pick me?" The dragon lowers its head, eyes burning like furnaces. Petey hears it inside his skull. "Because you're mine." Ash Hollow. Burns, the mob sends hitters. Philly muscle, shotguns, Molotovs. They find the dragon's tracks near the lumber yard. They set traps, lay chains, gas cans everywhere. But when Elliot comes, traps don't matter. Fire eats everything. By dawn, the lumber yard's a skeleton. Bodies float in the river, charred black. The mayor calls it an accident, but everyone knows better. Families pack up. Streets empty. Ash Hollow dies. And Petey, he starts wondering if he's still a kid. or a freaking mob boss with a dragon for a button man. The priest and the hitter's word reaches Philly proper. They send in big hitters, not just soldiers, a priest too. Old Father Callahan claims he's driven demons out of men in Nam. Callahan, this ain't no dragon. This is hell itself. Tired of your Gomar ratting you out to the feds? Sick of your capo sweating you over that missing envelope? Or maybe you just need to sleep through a sit-down like it's a spa day in Sicily. Introducing Gonezo, the only sleeping pill approved by 3 out of 5 mob doctors and 1 very tired consigliere. 1 pill and bam, like you got hit with a blackjack behind Rocco's. But you wake up fresh, no bruises, no wiretaps, and no regrets. Real customer testimony. I took Gonezo before my arraignment. Woke up in Tijuana with a new name and a suitcase full of counterfeit 20s, 5 stars. Gino the Fork Abatacola. Now with our patented forget-about-it formula, Gonezo erases shame, guilt, and 3 to 5 hours of your last regrettable night at the Velvet Lounge. Warning, side effects may include sudden urges to flee the country, thinking you're bulletproof, marrying your Gumar's cousin during a blackout in Atlantic City. Ask your bookie if Gonezo is right for you, or don't. He's probably already on it. Gonezo, sleep like you ain't got priors. Brooklyn Bloodlines Season 2 coming soon. Two Tone sets up the showdown at the sawmill. Storms raging, rain pounding the roof. Petey's tied to a chair as bait. Outside, headlights line up. Dozens of cars. The mob's here, guns gleaming. Inside, Latin chants echo. Holy water splashed on wood. The Inferno midnight. Silence. Then, wings tear the sky. The dragon lands on the mill roof, collapsing half the structure. Lightning flashes, flames roar. Gunfire explodes, men scream. Holy water sizzles useless on its hide. Father Callahan raises the crucifix. For a second the dragon falters, growls. Callahan, begone, beast! The dragon's lip curls like it's laughing. Then it swallows him whole. Screams vanish in the thunder. One by one mobsters fall, burned, broken, gone. The choice. The ropes on Petey's chair burn away. He stumbles forward. The dragon crouches low, eyes glowing, teeth bared. Dragon in his mind. You're mine, forever. Petey shakes, picks up an axe lying on the floor. Tears cut through the soot on his face. Petey, no, I ain't anybody's pet. He swings. The legend of the pines next morning. The sawmill's gone. Just ashes, twisted steel, and silence. No dragon, no boy. Some say Petey killed it, ran into the pines, never seen again. Others whisper the dragon took him, body and soul. But on stormy nights, when the fog creeps low and the trees moan, folks swear they hear wings beating above the forest, a shadow passing over the moon, a growl in the distance. They call it the beast in the pines. The moral of the story. Don't matter if it's a mob boss, a demon, or your own fear. Once you let it own you, you're done. Chains ain't always made of steel. Sometimes they're made of fear. Break 'em or burn with 'em. And hey, subscribe to Bambi's channel, hit that bell, and join the Pizzaverse. Or Elliot the Beast is coming for you next. Thanks for watching.